Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your nice questions, comments, and volunteering and booking lessons with me and sending donations. I really appreciate that. I'll do my best to answer all your questions as quickly as I can. Thank you for being patient with me and for all your help. So today we're going to talk about studies from different study books, different etude books that you can use it when you're learning spiccato. I already made a video about the techniques of spiccato, how it's supposed to be done. So if you haven't checked that video out yet, I encourage you to check out that video first. Then after that, you'll learn the basic techniques of spiccato. It might be a good idea for you to practice a little in either with some kind of study or a similar version of it. So I went through many different violin studies that's well known to us, and I'm gonna play that one in order, in my preference order, my favorite order. Of course, it's very personal, but I'll go one by one and explain to you why I like it and what I see it good or not so good. Yeah. So here I'm gonna talk about 7 different method books. So which are Suzuki book. I went through everything, but mainly since we're talking about a little advanced techniques such as spiccato, I mainly focus from Suzuki book 4 to 6 or more or less. So Suzuki book, and then I talk about Kreutzer, very popular, Wohlfahrt or study, and Kayser study, Mazas, Sevcik Bowing, and at last Laoureux violin method. It's a French guy, so I'm sorry that my French pronunciation is not very good, but I will write all those names in the description below in my preference order, so you should be able to see that very soon. Okay, so all from the 7. Unfortunately, Suzuki does not have any studies or any technical studies specifically for spiccato per se. I guess if you are a Suzuki teacher or you're working with a Suzuki book, you could alternate or just make your own version of spiccato, practicing based on any scales or given short parts of the repertoire of Suzuki book. There would be one possibility. But just from the book, instruction wise, it does not have spiccato exercise. Now, my number 1 favorite is this difficult French name for me, which is Laoureux violin method. This book is meant for beginner violinists, I believe, or entrance of intermediate level violinists. So it starts from like this. And then it moves on, and then after that. So what I like about this Laoureux's method is he's starting from open string and repeating in that open string, or at one note, repeating each note. Remember, the spiccato technique is not necessarily the easiest one, but I find it a lot of other studies, they jump on too quickly to mixing with spiccato or different string. So that would be just too much for the first time spiccato players. So in my studio, what I normally suggest my students to do is just open string spiccatos, starting from D, then A, G, E. That way we can really focus on that exercise for the spiccato movement in bow stroke. But I like it that not only Laoureux starts with a repeating note, starting from 4 to 3, 4. So he's playing simple scale, but then he gradually moved from 4 spiccato per note, then 3, then a slow 4, and then 3, and then now faster 4. So this helps us to move gradually, and then we also learn as you get faster, so to slow, a little 3, and 4. So we get to learn all these different bouncing spots of the bow, which I find it great. That is why I like it. If I may add one thing, I find it even better to start on D string or A string, then G string, because so we're talking about bouncing. So this D string or A string, the arm sits somewhat comfortable, but when it comes G string, you need to raise arm quite a bit so that you can reach it. And this itself, just raising your arm to reach the G string, I find it's not necessarily most comfortable one. So I would suggest do this kind of method, but start from D or A string, because that way the rest of the part is completely relaxed, so that you can solely focus just learning the new bow stroke of spiccato. They would have been even better, in my opinion. But still, Nicolas Laoureux is my number one pick. Number two is a Sevcik Bowing. So I'm a big fan of all the Sevcik studies, but remember, all these studies, whether whomever it is, the study is supposed to be just to help you to master certain technique, but the goal should not be playing from beginning to the end. Yeah. So if you feel like you're tired, or if you're new to a specific technique, try not to play from beginning to the end, but rather just play a couple bars maximum, 1, 2, 3, 4. I would suggest not more than 4 bars at a time at per practice session. So now Sevcik Bowing, there are several things. So I picked I would suggest my students to do with number 6, which sounds is so like that. Here, even though it's written, I would repeat each note 3 times, not 2, not 4, but 3 times. The reason being is so that you get a little time to master your new bow stroke of spiccato. But by playing odd number of 3, you have to start once down bow, down, now up, down, up. That way you are forced to learn once starting with a down, once starting with the up bow, spiccato. The danger with starting only with down bow by play even number, either 2 or 4, is you learn to throw the bow only downwards, right? Because the rest bounces on its own. It's also important to learn how to throw the bow from upwards with the up bow. Yeah, that's why you want to repeat that 3 times to teach yourself both ways. Down, up. Yeah, you do. Yeah, then you move on to the 2 each one. Then once you feel like you're comfortable, then move on as it's written. So 1 on each note. Or slow. On and on. Yeah. So that was my number 2 favorite one. Number 3 is Kayser study number 15. This one, I like it, but because it forces violins to stick to the bouncing spot. Common mistake when it comes to spiccato, a lot of students start where it bounces well, but then eventually travels away and they end up in the wrong spot, which is harder to do. But this one forces a violins to stay near where the bounce is the best, which is about a quarter from the frog. Right? So it sounds like this. Sorry. Here, there's a bouncing spot. You have to stay near a quarter from the frog. Sorry. Because you have to go slower, so you have to stay near the frog so that you have enough water to go down. Now you're back to where the frog is, so it's naturally bring you back where the bouncing spot is for the spiccato. And on like that. So that was my 3rd favorite, the Kayser number 15. Then the next one, number 4, would be Wohlfahrt. Wohlfahrt number 6. I like this one, even though it's a combination of slur and spiccato, because there's a very little string crossings involved. It mostly stays on the same string, which I find it's important for the very first time spiccato players, because spiccato itself requires a lot of attention, but if it's combined with a string crossing, you also have to work with the height of your elbow. That might be a little too much at once, at least for the first time spiccato players. So for that reason I like this one. So it goes like this. Yeah. Here, I suggest that if you're working with this study, do open string stroke, slur, spiccato, spiccato, slur, spiccato, spiccato. Make sure when you, before doing spiccato, your bow has to be off the string. So you would practice 1, 2, off, 1, 2, then on again. So you're making sure the bow is on right before slur, and you're making sure the bow is off the string right before spiccato. Yeah, that has to be done. And another thing that you have to make sure is while you just slur, while you play slur, make sure you don't use too long bow. Remember, we have to stay near the bouncing spot. So if you use too long, you're gonna be away from the bouncing spot. Therefore, it's gonna be almost impossible to bounce. So use little bow so that you're still in the bouncing spot. Beginning on the string, off right before spiccato, and then on again because we're about to play slur, which is on the string stroke. Off again because we have to play spiccato. So you do that. Yeah, then you do slowly. On and on like that. So you would gradually speed up, don't get fast too quickly. Yeah, so it's good that a spiccato gets repeated here. I like that. Okay, the next favorite is Kreutzer. Kreutzer number 2. I think this is all-time favorite by all violin professors. I remember this Kreutzer number 2. I had to play so many times throughout. Whenever, I don't know. I think I went through maybe, I don't know, a little over 20 or 25 different professors in my entire life, and I can safely say over 80% of professors wanted me to play this Kreutzer number 2. It's all-time favorite, and I can see also other professors do that too. So what it is, it has a Kreutzer has very long studies. In number 2 has long, simple notes, but then they come up with the different variations of different bow stroke. So it's actually written but then they make us to slur or like that. So we would use that one as a spiccato. So again, you will start with a 3 on each one. If you feel like that's a bit rushed, then add one more. So start with a 4 a little slowly. Then once you're done, then move on to 3. Then see if you can do 2. After enough time spent in quality practicing, then you play as it's written with only one spiccato for each note. Yeah, like that. And then my last number, but still good spiccato study, would be Mazas number 20. Now here, so it's actually written, the music is written like this. Yeah, but also in the top of the page in the smaller print, it suggests that you play 4 times like this. Yeah, which is a good idea. So I think that's a great suggestion. But also remember, you want to practice spiccato with odd numbers, not even numbers, so that you get to learn, throw your bow to do spiccato once down and once up bow. So feel free to come up with a little different practicing in this case, instead of do 4 times on each note, then move on to 3. So on and on like that. And then you move on to 2. Then 1. Oh, sorry. On and on like that. Sometimes if you're really pressed for time and you cannot study all these studies, but you want to practice a little spiccato, simple open string or just simple 1 octave scale will do. But the approach is the same. So start with a 4, then 3 times on each note, second and once, spending enough time. Let's say D major scale. Like that, yeah? And then you move to 3, then 2, 1, on and on like that. And in a couple of minutes you already practice your spiccato. So I hope this gives you a little idea. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to let me know if you have any questions. I hope to see you again. Please subscribe and share my videos. Bye bye.